People around the world are calling for action against climate change, but how much do we really know about its impact on the natural environment? Well, this Saturday, ArtScience Museum is launching a thought-provoking exhibition called Climate S.O.S.
The month-long program aims to explore the impact of climate change on oceans. And here to tell us more is Honor Harger, Executive Director of the ArtScience Museum, and Jessica Cheam, Managing Editor of Eco Business, which is behind a documentary that will be showcased at the venue as well. Honor, I'll come to you first and tell us about the environmental threats that will be explored and also why there's such a need to raise awareness for it now.
So Climate S.O.S. is a month-long program that includes a showcase by Eco Business, documentary films, a digital art showcase, and hands-on workshops that really look at the environmental threats to both our oceans and our polar regions. The oceans, of course, are an international ecosystem, and the polar regions affect everything that happens anywhere in the world. And whilst these places might seem quite far away, they have a really big impact on us here in Asia.
ArtScience Museum's exhibitions are always stellar when it comes to the production. So what can we expect this time?
So really what we're trying to do here is to encourage our visitors to take action. We're providing information, we're working with amazing partners like Eco Business, the Mesh Minds Foundation, the Singapore Eco Film Festival, to really, showcase some of the best talent from around Asia. But the purpose of Climate S.O.S. is to really get people to understand that there are no small actions. Any action is important, whether it's making a pledge to stop using single-use plastics, to eating less fish and meat, to flying a little bit less, or supporting a local charity or NGO. Taking action on the environmental issues that face the planet is absolutely critical.
Okay. And Jessica, tell us a bit about this documentary then that is part of this program.
So our exhibition is called Changing Course 2019, an exploration of our climate crisis. And we really went across the world to the melting north in the Arctic, as well as the water-stricken India, as well as Singapore, to talk about rising temperatures. The centerpiece is this documentary called Arctic Awakening. And we really want to tell the importance of our polar regions. I don't think enough people actually understand how critical they are in regulating global temperatures, its impact on sea levels, on weather patterns. And last year we went to Antarctica and we produced a documentary that told the story of what happened there. And this year we wanted to turn our attention north to complete the story. And what we found in the Arctic really is unprecedented change from a ticking time bomb, the huge permafrost melt that's happening, to sea routes opening and that impacting geopolitics of the world, including Singapore shipping routes, as well as climate change on a huge scale on the species that are living there. So it's a very interesting story.
Honor, you mentioned earlier about our habits and that, making certain choices, all of these things can help. In terms of the way that we consume, how is that impacting the Arctic?
Oh, this is a really good question, because actually one of the key visuals of the exhibition is this reindeer carcass that we found that starved to death because it got its antlers trapped in plastic trash. And this was the remote outpost of the Arctic, and there you are seeing the imprint of humanity right there. And I think it's telling us that we're not living within our planetary boundaries, and we really need to rethink the way that we consume and that we produce. And whatever happens in the Arctic doesn't stay in the Arctic. It affects us here in Singapore and Asia, and we need to look at our consumption levels. We need to look at how we consume energy, how we produce energy. And I think this has huge repercussions for us right now.
The one thing that comes with a lot of, climate change has been talked about for so long. Is there a concern that maybe the fatigue of the information is a concern to you, although it has been recently re-energized with Greta Thunberg and mobilizing thousands around the world, especially young people? How is this exhibition crossing that line or getting people more involved, and have you noticed that it is getting more traction, or are you noticing a bit of fatigue?
What we really feel is that artists are amazing at communicating, emotionally, and really connecting with people, on that deep emotional level. So one of the projects we've commissioned for Climate S.O.S. is a new digital art commission by Andre Wee and the Mesh Minds Foundation, supported by UN Environment. And it lives on Facebook. It's an augmented reality digital art commission that's all about plastic in the oceans and how it's affecting marine life. And we've seen this incredible kind of traction around that project. You know, people really care about what's happening in our oceans. They do want to take action, and some of the big constraints are just simply not knowing how, not knowing, you know, kind of where their sort of personal action kind of might be located. So if anything, I think we see less fatigue now than we did, you know, kind of a couple of years ago. There's a very energized base of both young people, you know, kind of, and older people who really want to get involved with these issues. And we're blessed to have, you know, kind of access to incredible filmmakers and artists who are really able to make those connections to kind of get people out of the house and get people involved.
Yeah, that's what makes ArtScience Museum special as well, because every visit there, you know, you're going to learn something. It's very interactive as well, you know, at the Future World. You're in there, you're sort of drawing your objects, feeding them to a scanner, and they're up in this digital aquarium. I was just doing that a few days ago. But we're hoping that, you know, the visitors to this exhibition are going to learn just as much and have a good time as well doing it. Thank you very much, both of you, for coming into the studios to share that with us, this exciting news about this new exhibition. That was Honor Harger there, Executive Director at the ArtScience Museum, and Jessica Cheam. She's Managing Editor of Eco Business. Climate S.O.S. is going to run until November the 3rd.